Alright my friends, you guys know exactly what time it is. We are sitting here down on a Monday, so that means that we are going to be talking about all the new makeup releases here in Pay or Stay Away, and we have so many good ones to talk about today, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in. So admittedly, I do have to say, I do have a few less makeup products to talk about for this week. But I think you guys will find that the ones that I did pick out to chat about here today are really impactful and very interesting releases. So let's go ahead and jump on into the first one. Alright, so this first release I legitimately have been asking for like a year or so. I have wanted her to drop these for so freaking long, and we had no idea if these were coming. Like, don't get me wrong, I've wanted these forever, but it was kind of one of those wants that you have where you're not really sure if it's gonna really happen or not, but somehow here we are talking about it today, and that is from Miss Pat McGrath, and these are her single freaking eyeshadows, which, like, what the hell? Who in the world thought that we would be able to actually obtain single eyeshadows from Pat McGrath? I thought that I was going to forever have to be buying her $120 palettes to be able to achieve certain shades that I wanted out of the palette that I would much rather buy in single form. I thought I was gonna have to make that sacrifice, but it looks like we don't have to anymore. Or do we? Let me explain. So these will be available on March 28th. They're going to retail for $25 each, but you already know this is Pat McGrath we're talking about here. She's not going to charge a measly $5 for her single shadows. The girl knows that she's got a good product, and she charges a hefty price tag for that good product. But there are 17 different shades to choose from, and you can choose from a range of metallics, mattes, or shimmer shades. Alright, so I have to say, when I heard that she was coming out with single shadows, I was losing my freaking mind. I was so excited. But then, unfortunately, I saw the launch photos of the single shadows, and they look absolutely stunning. Don't get me wrong, I am not a Pat McGrath hater here. I freaking love Pat McGrath. But there is one specific kind of formula that I happen to really enjoy from Pat McGrath, and that I find sets her shadows apart from any other brand, and they basically give me the incentive to want to purchase her palettes because I don't really feel like I can get a whole lot else out there like them. And that particular formula of eyeshadow from Pat McGrath is her duochromatic, super sparkly, chunky but not overly chunky type of eyeshadows that are usually baked. Those types of eyeshadows. And from the looks of it, it looks like this particular range of single shadows is just not gonna have that type of formula in it. And although I love her metallics, don't get me wrong, her shimmers and mattes are pretty decent to me, but if I'm buying Pat McGrath, I want something that's really, really eye-catching, and to me, her duochromatic sparkly shades are just that. And I'm just kind of crushed over here because I was just so hoping that we'd be able to finally get those as singles. And, you know, I might be wrong. Once we see people, you know, review these and start to buy them and purchase them and whatnot, maybe they will actually be the sparkly formulas that I'm thinking of. But from the looks of it, these just look like her basic metallics, which, like I said, are freaking amazing. But if I'm gonna pay $25 for a single shadow, it better be the best damn single shadow I've tried in a long time. And to me, her duochrome shades are just that, and they're just simply not in this line as of yet. So I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted. On one hand, I'm really happy she came out with singles. On another hand, girl, why didn't she release the duochrome sparkly shades as singles? I really don't know. Maybe she has that planned out for sometime in the future. Maybe she just doesn't want to include those in single shadows because maybe they're a little bit harder to formulate, and because they're baked, they maybe just won't fit into certain compact that she wants to use. But I really want her to bring those out. So Pat McGrath, please, please, Mama Pat, please bring out the duochrome sparkly shades as singles, because I will give you all the money I have, okay? Please, please, for me, for me. I'm clearly desperate over here, okay? Alright, so now we are jumping from a very luxurious, expensive brand like Pat McGrath over to a brand that releases legitimately new things every single week that is also on the more affordable end of things. And of course, this is Colourpop, who recently came out with their Disney Villains collection. Now, I know you might be thinking, wow, didn't we talk about Colourpop the week before, and even last week as well? And to that I say, hell yeah, we did. Now, Colourpop has always been known for dropping a bunch of collections. They're dropping things left and right, but lately they have just been on a freaking roll with collections. They have been dropping so many collections I can't personally keep track. It has been freaking insane over there. I don't even want to imagine what the employees go through on a daily basis with all these collections that they drop all the freaking time. But naturally, they have a new collection that is inspired by one of their previous collections, the Disney Princess collection, and this is the Disney Villains collection. Now, the villains that are of topic here are Ursula from The Little Mermaid, Maleficent, which is, I believe, from Snow White. I just know it's Angelina Jolie. That's about it. I'm sorry. Cruella, of course, 101 Dalmatians. Dr. Facilier, I have no idea who the hell that is. I'm sorry, doctor. I don't know you. And finally, Hades, which I believe is from whatever movie Danny DeVito was like a centaur in. Hercules. Hercules. Yes. That movie. All 90s classics that apparently I skipped over when I was little because I personally didn't really like Disney that much when I was little. I'm sorry, I know, don't crucify me. I know someone's already given me a thumbs down, and for that I say I'm sorry, but I really just wasn't the biggest Disney fan. I was more of a Pixar fan, which coincidentally joined kind of hands and became basically the same thing. But nonetheless, these are all very recognizable villains, and this collection is available now, and it is freaking gigantic. So this collection consists of the Misunderstood eyeshadow palette, which retails for $22, 6 new Jelly Much eyeshadows for $8 each, 6 Super Shock highlighters that are not in the little closable containers. They are legitimately in like a compact, which is kind of concerning because they usually dry out, but my kitty wanted to make an appearance and say hello. Well, she's not my cat, but I live with her. This is Emme. I didn't name her, by the way. She's not named after me. Emme the second. Oh, she don't like this. She don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love you. Isn't she the sweetest? Okay, back to makeup. And those retail for $10 each. And the final product that to me stuck out the most out of this collection, because trust me, it was huge and I had to just kind of pick and choose here, are the 2 Glitterally Obsessed eyeshadows, which are $8 each, which are like, they're Lemonhead LA little glitters that are in a pot. So I do really like this collection. I like the concept of the collection. You know, the Disney Villains kind of theme is really interesting for a lot of people. So many people love Disney and love Disney princesses, and they already came out with the Disney Princess collection, so it only makes sense for them to come out with the Disney Villains collection. But I gotta be completely transparent here. I just don't have that personal connection and that nostalgic connection to Disney like a lot of people do. I know. I'm sorry, okay? I just don't. And for that reason, this isn't really appealing to me too much. I do think that one of the Jelly Much eyeshadows, the purple one in particular, is freaking beautiful. It is phenomenal. I like the Glitterally Obsessed eyeshadows, but I'm just not really feeling the need to add them to my collection because I have a bunch of purple eyeshadow. Don't get me wrong, I love purple eyeshadow and I'm always wanting to add more because I'm crazy and insane like that. But there are just some more things that are releasing this week that I personally think I like better. So I'm skipping over everything as far as the Disney Villains collection goes. I'm sorry to everyone that I hurt by saying that. So that is everything that I have for the mainstream Sephora, Ulta brand makeup brands. So now let's go ahead and transition right on over to the indie brands. So the first indie brand that I wanted to talk about today is one of my absolute favorites. This is a brand that is near and dear to my heart. I love them. I love their makeup. And this is Clionadh Cosmetics. And I'm 95% sure that I say their name wrong. I believe it's Clionadh, but my tongue just wants to add the little D at the end. I don't know. I'm just offensive like that, I suppose, and I'm sorry. But I mentioned recently in a Pair Stay Away that they are coming out with some beautiful looking multichromes, and they have finally announced their stained glass multichrome collection, which is going to consist of a bunch of single shadows that are all multichromes. And the one thing that sticks out the most to me in this collection is that these multichromes are on the lighter spectrum of things, which I have personally been asking for a very long time from these brands. I have been throwing it out there into the universe and hoping that somebody hears, and Clionadh has answered my prayers here. Their multichromes look freaking fantastic. Now, don't get me wrong, they have a bunch of deeper, darker toned multichromes to choose from, but what I am the most impressed with are their lighter toned multichromes, which, I mean, how the hell am I gonna pick one of these? So far, I think my favorite one is Luminaire, which is a red, orange, and gold. And I also really freaking love the shade Ray, which is a beautiful shade that shifts from pink to red to orange to gold to lime. Like, what the hell? Who would have thought that those combinations of colors would be this beautiful? But like, you see this. Like, how am I supposed to pick one of these or two of these out of the entire collection? I want all of them, at least all the lighter toned ones. I don't know how I'm going to be able to pick one or two of these, because usually multichromes are a little bit more expensive, so I definitely think that these probably will be maybe in like the $10 to $20 range, because it just takes a lot of effort to make these. But look how beautiful this collection is. Clionadh, you can have my money, okay? Take it. It's yours. Having a little Rich Lux moment there. I'm just being very extra. Where did my dollar go? I need that. Poor. But yes, these are going to be making their way into my collection and finding a very cozy home, probably in my favorite Z palette that houses all of my favorite shadows, because these look absolutely beautiful and I know they are going to be freaking fantastic. So good job, Clionadh. I cannot wait to get them, and rest in peace to my freaking bank account. Hello, cutie pie. Are you coming out with an eyeshadow palette? And the last release that I wanted to talk about for this week is from a brand called Emme Cosmetics, who I personally have never tried anything from. Everything that I've ever wanted from Emme Cosmetics has always been freaking sold out, so I've never really gotten the opportunity to try anything. And they are coming out with the Flower Garden palette, which is the cutest name, but this will be available in 2 weeks or less, and apparently this palette is limited edition. Now, I don't have a price on this palette yet. I'm gonna guess that it's probably gonna be maybe about $60, because look at the packaging, look at the way this is set up. You get a lot of eyeshadows in here as well, and the pans are pretty big from the looks of it. You get 14 different eyeshadows in this palette, 4 mattes that are on the top of the palette that are to be used as blending and transition colors, 10 shimmers, 4 duochromes, and 3 slight duochromes, which is interesting. Now, this palette, I know that I don't need to add this to my collection. Like, come on, I don't. But pinks and purples and a little bit of green here. Something is really drawing me to this palette. You know, I've wanted to try the brand for a while. These are my colors. This is my theme. It's perfect for this time of year. It's perfect for spring. I'm edging towards buying it. I know that it's going to probably be on the more expensive side of things, but I think I just made up my mind right here on camera. I think I'm gonna actually purchase this. It's absolutely beautiful, and I think it's something that is really interesting, and I really just want to try the brand, and this would be the perfect way to try things from the brand. Plus, you know, I love these colors, you know I love flowers, and I like that the greens are in the shape of a stem and the flowery pinks and purple colors are in the shape of a flower. It's not much, but it's the little details that really count here, and it's the little details that are really drawing me into this palette and just this theme in general. But please do let me know in the comments, what are you going to be purchasing from this week's launches? I know some of you guys were tagging me on that Emme Cosmetics palette, and I think you guys know just from looking at it that this is something that is probably gonna find its way into my makeup collection. But let me know, what are you guys going to be getting? What are you not going to be getting? Strike up a conversation down below and let me know how you feel. But if you enjoy knowing when all the new makeup releases are and hearing about new releases that come out from all of these brands, including indie brands, then what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. This way you can be in the loop with all of the new makeup releases. And if you enjoyed the video, I would absolutely love it if you gave me a big old thumbs up. You know, and I know how much it affects people's YouTube channels, so if you choose to do so, then I appreciate it very much. But with that being said, I hope that you are having an absolutely amazing and beautiful and bright and sunny day wherever you are, and thank you so much for spending your time here today. I hope to see you next time. Bye!